Hey everyone, hope you're doing well today. Thank you for joining. My name is Nate, and today we're going to learn how to do one of the designs off the back wall here. So I'm going to come back here. We're going to grab one of these designs here. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one right here. Today's lesson is going to be the dog paw print. All right, so to start out, we're going to get one of these pre-prep shirts. This has already been prepped in soda ash, so make sure that you prep your shirt first before you get to this process. So you need to turn the shirt inside out. So I've already got this one inside out here, and we're going to lay it face down. So we're going to take out all these wrinkles here now, smooth it out. You want to get most of the wrinkles out as best as possible. And this has dried quite a bit, so some of these wrinkles are going to be here, but for the most part, the shirt is pretty flat. Okay, so to do the dog paw print, if you do not feel confident in drawing it on your own, you can print out something and make a stencil of it, which is what I did. So I actually I printed out dog paw print and then cut out the design itself, laid it over this, drew it on this, and then cut it out in this so that I could have a permanent stencil. You don't have to do that, but if you don't feel like you can draw this, print it out, cut out this stencil, lay it over the top, and then stencil that out. Okay, so I've got these washable markers right here. Crayola does not sponsor me, but these are the best washable markers. The cheaper ones, I've noticed that when I use them, they don't wash out completely. So these Crayola ultra washable markers, these are your best bet when you need to draw something on a white shirt and then you're going to dye it and you want to make sure that that marker washes out completely. This is what we're using. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we'll use the blue here. So I got the blue. And to find my middle here, so I'm going to take the two ends, fold it, and right here is my middle point. So I'm going to put a mark right here. And I trust myself to draw a straight line, mostly straight line from there to there. It's off a little bit, but it's close enough. We do not need to be perfect here. This is just my guide for my stencil that I have. And I actually have two different size stencils. Since this is a smaller shirt, I'm going to be using the smaller stencil. And I'll let you see my larger stencil here. So these are my two sizes. So for my larger ones, I do use this. But we're going to be using this here. And usually I'll fold the shirt in half before I do this, but I want you to be able to see the design on here before I do this. So, all right, so lining it up, I typically line the top part of the pad about right here on the shirt, which is about an inch or two below the armpit. It really depends on the size shirt. So if you have a bigger shirt, it could be farther. Smaller shirt could be closer. So we're going to go about right here. And the reason for this is so our collar on the front side, I'm going to go ahead and draw this right here just so that you can see, is actually right here. So we want to be down a little bit. And there's also going to be a border around this a little bit. And so we need to account for that as well and still give room. So that border is about this big. So that way we've got room there. Okay, so we're going to line this up. Draw out our toes here. Toe beans, puppy paw toe beans. And then the pad. I'm just going to flip this over right here. Make sure to line this up just right on this side too. And trace this out over here. Yeah, I made this stencil just because it's very easy to draw these off just a little bit. And in order to get a consistent look from shirt to shirt, make sure it actually looks like a dog paw print and not like some other animal, I have these stencils so that I have super consistency here. Okay, so now we have our design here. What we're going to do is put the cap back on, make sure your caps are on, because these markers don't actually last very long. With the shirt having soda ash on them, it dries them out really quick. So you want to preserve these as best as possible. Make sure your cap is always on, or these will go they'll go so fast. I bought so many markers. I'm tired of buying markers, but hey, we got to do what we got to do. Okay, so right here I've got 70-pound artificial sinew. There's a waxed polyester cord. This is what's going to help separate the sections on the shirt. And before I get to that, we're going to take the shirt and fold it in half. So there's two different ways that you can do that. You can reach under, make sure to grab here, pull, lift straight up, and go just like this. Or just flip the whole shirt over like this. Make sure it's flat. And we're going to fold it over. So whatever's easiest for you. I do both. Just kind of try to see what works best. And there's not really a best. It's just whatever's more preferable to you. There's so many different ways to do stuff like this. So it's just kind of what's easiest for you, what feels most comfortable. And like, I'm ambidextrous. I'm left-handed for sports and athletic stuff. I'm right-handed when it comes to drawing and writing because I was not allowed to write with my left hand in school. And so I know I do things a little bit different, and there's just, there's never just one way. There's so many different ways to do tie-dye. Okay, so now that we've got this folded in half, and rotate this over this way. So I typically like to start with these first, and I'll usually start with this one. That way, these are easier to tie. So if we tie this first, these are a little tougher. These are the tougher part to tie, so I like to do the harder part to make those easier on myself. And then come over here to this, and this is pretty simple. So what we're gonna do, I feel a fold in there that I don't want. Let's see if I got that. All right, yep, flattened out. Okay, so I had a fold in one of the layers right around in here, and I did not want that to stay because what that'll do is it'll make the pattern. It could mess up the pattern, and a little bit of mess up is okay because it's tie-dye. It just makes it look tie-dyed and rather than some printed design. But you don't want it to mess up too much because too much mess up, it messes up the image, and then it looks awful. So what we're gonna do here is make a pinch in the center and make it so that this and this line up with each other. And then we're going to gather this side all the way to this side. So it's kind of like a pleat, except for we don't have it on the table pleating. It's up in the air. This is an isolation, so you can call it. So basically what we're doing is we're isolating the toe bean. And so by gathering it, I'm making a fold going one way, and then a fold going the other way, and then a fold going this way and that way. And so once I make all these, you may even be able to see it forming now, how it goes this way, this way, this way, this way, that way, that way. And then this little bit's about to be folded right back over, just like that. So that our line right here and our line right here are level with each other. So we can make a wrap around that. So what I got here, 70-pound artificial sinew. This is a waxed polyester cord. What this will do is create a resistance around here, just like this. So I'm pulling it just snug enough to give it a little bit of bite, but not enough to pull it tight yet because it'll slip off. So what we're doing is I'm wrapping this about 5 or 6 times the first time, and then as I pull it tight, I'm gonna put my hand over here to do it to give myself some strength to pull. But as I pull it tight, the outer layers tighten first, and then the inner layers tighten over the top of the outer layers and lock it on itself. So when we come back later, we'll be able to just untie that. But for here, okay, so that one is now tied. Now we're going to go over to this one over here, and we're going to do the same thing. This one is a little bit tougher. Don't rush yourself. Just make sure that you got your good curve here, good little curve here, and then gather one side to the other. So I usually make the fold over here and then start gathering all the rest over to it. And these folds don't have to be perfect. Like if you ever do geodes or anything like that, this is pretty much a geode, except I'm doing it a little cleaner by doing this. You can't even just grab like a spot and just do that, as long as your line is lined up right here. But we're trying to make a clean shirt here. It can be tedious sometimes, but I don't really necessarily mind tedious as long as I get a good image and a good product, something that people like, something that people look at and go, "Oh, that's a dog paw print." I know exactly what that is. Although I did have somebody, they go, "Oh, that's not a paw print, is it? That's a tiger print. I knew it." And I just kind of, I smiled and I just sort of laughed because I didn't really know what to say. And they're like, "You just don't tell people, do you?" Like, but I know my paw prints. That's a tiger paw print. We'll just keep that between us. And I just kind of laughed. It was making me laugh pretty good here because they were so serious. And I was like, "That's cool." If you think it's a tiger paw print, that's totally cool. Whatever. I don't care. I'm not gonna argue. Yeah. Okay. So now we got this tied. So now we're gonna come over to this bottom part, and we're gonna pleat all the way to here. So we're gonna flatten this out, make a pinch, and we want it to be about probably 2/3, 3/4 of an inch or so. Not too tall, not too short. If it's too short, it gets very hard to tie. If it's too tall, you don't get as much detail. So there's kind of just this in between. And so I've found that about 2/3 of an inch seems to be the perfect pleat. 3/4 of an inch is good too. You just get a tiny little bit less detail. And so it's really just depends on what, because like, sometimes with the smaller pleats, it ends up being too wide. You have a hard time fitting everything in. So there's really it's just a preference. You're going to get a feel for this after you've done it quite a few times. All right, so make this curve. This curve can be a little tough. Your folds right here on the line need to be about the same height, but they're going to get taller on the outside of the curve, and they're going to be smaller on the inside of the curve. But as you see, some of these folds are already folding back. So we'll take these pre-existing folds and we're going to work with the fabric here. So when the fabric is already doing something and is helping you, it's basically going here. Here's where you need to fold it. You go, "Oh, okay. Hey, thanks for the help." Sometimes it works with you. Other times it fights with you. He goes, "You can't fold like that." "Well, how else am I supposed to make this work?" "Oh, I don't know." "Why'd you try to do that pattern?" You just sit here and argue with the fabric. Okay, so now we got our line here is lined up. And go find the end of this. All right, so I'm going to loop this around. And we're going to bring this to here. And so basically, this is actually the same thing as these, just laying flat. But now that I turn it up this way, it is the same as these. It's from a different direction. Did the same thing in different ways. It's the great thing about tie-dye. It is multi-dimensional. And so one way can do something another way, and another way can do something another way. And then I see all this four-dimensionally because we're passing through layers. And so there's a top layer and a bottom layer right here, and a top layer and a bottom layer right there, and this is the top, but also the bottom, and this is the top and also the bottom. But I can put some dye here and a different color here, and they'll go, the colors will go in between, and it's just a different way of looking at things. So now I got the pad. Now I got the toe beans. Okay, so now see how there's already some folds here. We're going to help these folds out. So what we'll do is, if you see a fold, you kind of make a pinch and just pull, and it'll help the other folds around it kind of do whatever is best for them. So you'll kind of work with what they're giving you. And so here was actually folded under. We want to pull this out a little bit right here. Okay. So we're going to bring, this is a little too tall. I need another fold here and a fold there. It looks like the armpit seam hem does not want it to fold, so it's fighting against me there. Okay. So now we got that like that. And the reason for this, so we're going to bring all this together, and we're going to put an outer border to this paw. So it's going to be a little closer to the toe prints than it is to here. It's not possible to make a tight curve like that. It's always going to be a straight line here. So we're going to pull this just a little snug, and then give this a few wraparounds, and a nice good tightening. Don't want to pull it hard enough to break. Give that a cut. Leave enough room so that you can grab this and untwist when you go to untie. Okay. Now we're gonna spread these out a little bit and we're gonna scrunch it. You can keep it how it was if you want. If you want lines that come out from it, or if you want to do like a border that goes around it. I want to do a scrunch here, change up the pattern a little bit. Sometimes I do things the same way multiple times, but different colors. But I never really make the same thing twice. It's always a different color. And then I put it on the website for people to order. That way, if somebody wants something and they like it, then they can order it. But I'm always trying to make new things, new colors, new designs. Just keep making new. Get that inventory large. Just learn how to do new things, because like I don't watch videos how to do this kind of stuff. I've seen a couple tie-dye videos because I wanted to see, and it wasn't until way after I was tie-dyeing, and really the only reason I wanted to see them is I was kind of interested to see the format for the how-to videos, and kind of got a look at it. But then I started looking at other artists, other art forms, and seeing how they make videos, and how start following their styles, taking advice from them. That way, I don't really want to, like, yes, I follow the tie-dyers, but I don't want to follow anybody to the point where I feel like I'm copying their work or anything. And so I like to get inspiration, yes, from some of the tie-dyers. There are quite a few tie-dyers that I love seeing their stuff, seeing the inspiration, especially the different styles. But I don't follow all of them. I don't want to copy. I just want to do my thing and make what I want to make. Yeah, so actually what I did here, sorry, I'm kind of just talking, not even thinking. One rubber band, I'll do it as I do this one. But really we're just binding these pieces together so that they don't touch anything, so that there's no dye bleed after we dye this. But what we're doing is just taking one rubber band and wrapping it, making a twist, and wrapping back and forth all the way until we get to the edge, just like that. All right, so we're going to go with the whole color spectrum right here. First thing I like to do, take some black, and the outline of our shape, we're going to add black. So we're going to put black dye on the outside here. You want to go kind of slow. Make sure just a little bit absorbs in. Depends on how dry your shirt is too. This one's been sitting out for a bit. It's pretty dry, so it may take a little while to absorb. A slight dampness is about perfect. But when it's dry like this, you want it as close to dry as possible without being like bone dry. When it's bone dry, it starts to wick the water, and so it has a hard time dyeing. So you want it to be as close to dry as possible without actually being completely dry, because that little bit of wetness breaks the surface tension. And then the drier that it is, the more dye it can absorb. All right, so for here, let's see. So on the pad, make sure we just get it on this inside part of the pad. Flip it over here. You can see how some ran down that rubber band. You can actually see where it dripped right there. Now the toe beans. So they're not too big. So usually what I like to do, we're going to get right up against that line. If it spills over the line a little bit, it's okay. So what we're doing is making shadow, making detail. You just don't want this black to go everywhere. As long as this black stays around this line, like right here, doesn't spread too far. I do thicken my black a little bit. This is partially thickened. So it helps keep the black in its space. Black, I use black on every single dye, just about. There's a few dyes that I don't use black, and just because I have been asked to do some pieces that don't have black. Not everybody wants it, but By putting black in all of this, it gives bold contrast to the other colors. And it makes it easier to tell what you're looking at. To me, it makes the other colors brighter in comparison. Part of color theory, when you put one color behind another color, it can change the colors you're looking at. So by putting black behind color, it makes the color brighter. If you have white behind it, it can make it look lighter. But yeah, basically just lighter. And so, but you can't put color over black unless it's a pigment. Dye doesn't work that way, but pigment does. So dye always has to have white behind it for it to dye. Because if I put another color over this, it's already black. It's not going to do anything. But black around the borders, nice thick borders, it's going to make our image right here stand out, be super bold. Everyone is going to know exactly what it is. And I know it's a paw print. They might think it's a tiger print. But our little dog, our dog paw print right here. Make sure to just give a nice bold border around. Sometimes it takes a little bit for some of this dye to go through, so we give it a chance to do its thing. And then we come through, add a little bit more. So there's the black. And now for the colors, let's see, how should we do this? Let's say we're going to do a gradient fade from the bottom up to the top. So like these are the top and this is the bottom. You got to think of it as a curve. So what we're going to do here, let's see, what color should I do on which side? Oh, I know what I'll do. Okay, so instead of starting, so what we're going to do, we're going to do purple on the tops here. So the very top of the toe beans going to be purple. And then we're going to do this to both of them. I'm going to put just enough on to where it gets the top but doesn't bleed too far. We don't want it to drip. If it drips, then we're going to have color where we do not. We're going to have this color where we don't want this color. What we're going to be doing here is a rainbow gradient. So we're going to start here. So the rainbow is a circle. There's not necessarily a top or bottom. We have designated typically red on the bottom and a violet on the top. And that may have to do with frequencies. This may just be a deeper frequency. And actually, this is a bigger molecule. This stains faster. I believe this is the smallest molecule, actually. This spreads all over the place. And like purple is, it's a mix of the two. So you mix those two colors together to get purple. And it goes around in a circle. So purple, I could even put here if I wanted. So actually, this is how we're going to color it, is we're going to do the purple, then we're going to do fuchsia, orange, and then we're going to work our way. We're going to see how far the color goes. I don't have a bottom color. I kind of want it to do the whole color spectrum in here, but we shall see. So whatever fits. This isn't really the biggest design, and so there's not a whole lot of room for a whole lot of different colors in here. And to be honest, this may be the first rainbow dog print that I've done like this. And typically they're all just a single color. I've been doing gradient colors. Actually, I think that's how they are on my website, maybe, possibly. I'm not 100% sure. I've done just solid single colors and then a gradient of that color. So like uh, a dark to a lighter fade. So almost like a black to a white fade, but then with the color in the middle. So there'll be the darkest version of that color, and then it'll get a little bit lighter. And or usually I go dark, yeah, and then a little bit lighter, and then there'll be the original color, and then I'll go lighter, and I'll go lighter, and there'll be a pastel color, and then there'll be a like an ultra pastel that you can barely see, and then it fades to white. So just a full gradient of that one color. That way you can see all the dark versions of it, all the light versions of it. That is actually how I do my color wheels. If you have seen my color wheel video, color wheel is not the easiest, a little difficult. Yeah, for every time I do the color wheel, I have to make a full spectrum of each color, but I've actually got it down pretty well, and I have like all my bottles too. They're even labeled for each level, and so I have like my regular color that just says the colors, and then did I get both of those? I don't think I got both sides of that one. It's a little hard to tell. These rubber bands, I should have used the smaller rubber bands on these little smaller spots. Sometimes the rubber band blocks what you're trying to do. You can't really see it very well. But I think that's in there. So now our toe beans are dyed. And we're going to use this color just to put a little bit right here. This is going to be the top of the pad in the very center part. And the reason for that is so that it's a smooth gradient transition from the toe beans into the paw. Okay, so now we're going to go yellow. We're going to continue this. Yeah, see how I'm dyeing left-handed? It's, I don't know, I switch back and forth on which hand because I feel like I'm crossing over right now, but because of the way I have this tied, this is upside down, and so I feel like I'm doing it backwards by doing this right-handed. Like, I can, it doesn't really matter which side, but what's getting to me is not the right or left, it's top or bottom. So I'm going to flip this over because this is the top of the shirt, bottom of the shirt. I prefer it that way, so I will be holding with my right, dyeing with my left, at least for this part. Some stuff like that may not bother all of you. I just do whatever feels comfortable. Being ambidextrous, I just don't really feel much about it. I don't try to switch too much. I mean, I know my right side isn't as strong as my left, but it definitely has more precision, which is actually why I'm holding it, because I can hold it still and I can squeeze better with this left. All right, so there's that side. Flip it over. Do this side the same. Get just enough in there so that it doesn't bleed. So I'm like barely squeezing, just a drop or two at a time. And this green, I have to be real careful with. This green can easily overtake the yellow. And then I don't want to put it too far over where that blue is going to be, because then it'll go into the purple, create some brown. We don't want that, so just a little bit there. Now we'll get some blue. I got a turquoise here. It's kind of a turquoise teal. Sometimes Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's the other. It is a, whoops, put a little too much blue on that. The turquoise is a color that I make because technically this blue that I'm using right here. This is turquoise dye. When we buy it, this is labeled turquoise, but there's no greenish color to it. It's just a pure blue, so it's almost like an electric blue, you could probably call it. It's a very bright blue, but not like light. I would say it's very vibrant, and so it's an electric blue, you could call it. It is my main blue. I use that. Sometimes I use cerulean blue, but right here. So now that we've added purple and green, we add a little bit more of this blue, and it'll make green here. I can tell not much dye I got right there, so I'm just going to take a little bit of yellow, put a drop right there. Sometimes it's hard to see if the yellow comes out. Oops, so I saw a little too much come out there. So we'll put another drop of blue here, try to counteract that. Okay. So now those two are dyed. So now for here, let's see, what color should we do here? So we can even do rainbow here, where, let's see, we'll just go, I don't know, different color. Let's start with yeah, we'll start with the yellow. We'll go with some yellow. Yep, I think that's gonna work good. So we'll do yellow. Crossing over myself here now. Orange. I'm just gonna go light. Just trying to get one or two folds here. If you want, you can just color all this stuff in one single color. I'm making this as difficult as it could possibly be. And why should I make this easy? We're gonna make this a cool pattern. And actually, so this shirt and all of these shirts in this series that I'm recording today are going to my friend Hunter up in Colorado. He is going to be selling some shirts while he's there. He buys a few from me, helps me out a little bit, and I'm very hopefully he is able to sell them while he is out there. I don't know what kind of market he's dealing with. This is actually the first time that we have done this, and yeah, so he sent me some funds, and I am putting together a good little package for him. I'm going to hook him up. I'm going to give him shirts for. I'm going to give him more shirts than what he paid for, and I'm even going to give him a shirt especially for him. I think one of my shirts that I just made recently. Ooh, I wonder. That'll be fine. Because that'll have to be. Yeah, this is all gonna have to be green. Actually, I can put some yellow over this. Sorry, sometimes I get on one track. I have to talk about what I'm doing. If I'm talking about something else, I forget. Yeah, so one of the shirts I just made recently, I put a whole lot of work into it. It's really cool. It's a one of a kind. I think I'm going to send that to him. He doesn't know, but I would like to surprise him. Nice little thank you for doing this. I hope this is something that works out well for both of us. So if you're in Colorado, I actually don't know what town. Yeah, he gave me the address, but I haven't. I got it saved in my phone. So I'll be shipping that stuff out after I do this. I got to go through. Make sure that's the right color. I got to go through the shop and pick out a bunch of shirts for him and try to give him a good inventory to start with. Give him stuff that's cool, things that I think everybody will like. And of course, people are going to like the tie-dye stuff, especially in Colorado, hopefully. I would hope. I got lots of different designs. Some have been here longer than others, so I don't really want to send him any of that stuff. I want to send him some new things. Give him a bunch of fresh material to work with. And so I was like, I haven't recorded in a while. It's like I got sick a month and a half ago. I don't know. It's been a little bit. And I lost my voice for a little bit. It probably lost a good 3 weeks. I couldn't talk very well. Didn't really I wasn't really that sick, but I guess it just hit me in the chest. So I wasn't really able to record because I couldn't talk, and I just had some color bleed there, but we'll be okay. And so these are my first videos back. So I apologize to anybody who's been watching and waiting for more. I am now back. So for my first day back recording, I'm up at the shop. The shop is closed on Mondays, so I can come up here and I can make videos on Mondays. It's a little hard to do this any other time of the week because people are coming in and out, and yeah, like people come talk to me and it's totally fine. But if I'm doing this with you, it makes it so much more difficult. And so what I end up having to do is what I end up having to do is just record it, and if I want there to be any sound, then I have to go back over and do a voiceover, and I haven't quite done that yet. All right, so let's get our colors situated here. So we did that. Is that color? Okay, so I think I'm going to do a shift this way in the color, and I may even do something else on the back. We'll see. That's what we'll do. Okay. Or should we do it this way? Since we did that, we could. Now we'll do it different. Okay, so we're gonna go like this. But first color, what I'm gonna do is flip over. Actually, I'm gonna put. Let's see, what color should we? How should we start this? Should we do the darker spectrum? Okay, this is what we'll do. Nope. I changed my mind so many times. Okay, so we're just going to start right here at the top. Doesn't matter. We're going to go with some blue. And we're just going to start adding it on here. Don't want to do too much at a time so that it bleeds, but we don't need it to be as controlled over here as it was for the rest of that. So we just do little squirts at a time, just a little bit. And actually, even like this, it comes out. So I used to work at Jersey Mike's many years ago, and they would train us on the bottles, on making the oil and vinegar come out. And so the big bottles, when I started tie-dyeing, I was like, wait, Jersey Mike's taught me how to tie-dye. It was kind of funny. Nice little laugh. But even these little bottles, like there's a perfect shake to where, whoops, why am I doing yellow first? So there's a perfect little shake like this to make just the right amount. Or you can give it a little squeeze. Since these are plastic, you can squeeze those bottles. At Jersey Mike's were glass. Weren't allowed to fill it all the way. Had to fill it to a fill line, and then shake it, and just enough comes out. So if you actually fill it and go over the fill line, it doesn't allow the oxygen flow to transfer, or the airflow to transfer, and not enough comes out. You're having to shake it more. So they got it. It's funny, they got it down to a science. We got bottle shaking down to a science. I've been doing this full time for been a bit. Let's see, I think, so last year was the first year that I had ever filed taxes without having a job to file. I've never done that before. I mean, I had a job like I had this. I had to file for myself. Just totally different style of taxes, and no W-2s or W-4s. Just having to do my taxes. I'm a sole proprietor, and so it was a bit different. And I got it to, so because I pretty much spend everything that I make back on into this. I put everything back other than the few bills that I pay. I got insurance, a couple bills. I gotta eat, and then luckily I don't have to pay rent or a mortgage at the moment. I have help from some family, and they're allowing me to do this at their home. I'm very thankful for them. And I try not to make too much of a mess. Up here at the shop too is also nice. I'm up here at Everybody's Glass in Old Town Spring. If you happen to be anywhere near Houston, it is just off of I-45, just a little north of Houston. I know it's not in Houston, and anybody from Houston, if I had said we were Houston, they'd be like, "No, you're not. What the hell are you talking about? You're not in Houston. Spring's not Houston." Yeah, I know. We're just north of Houston. Probably 30 minutes from downtown, maybe, depending on traffic. Traffic sucks sometimes. But so Everybody's Glass, Old Town Spring, 214 Main Street, I think is the address. And when you turn off at 45, we're right on. You end up turning on to FM 2920 towards Old Town Spring, not towards Tomball, the opposite way of Tomball. And we are 2 miles or so, 2-3 miles on the left, right when you get into Old Town Spring. So you'll pass up a school, and then you'll get into Old Town Spring, and we are on the left, right next to Elixir Lounge, which is a non-alcoholic mocktail bar next door. They're a great place to go if you would like a drink and to hang out, but to not have any alcohol. They do have kratom drinks and kava drinks if you are interested in that. And then here at the shop, if you would like to drink, we do have beer on tap for anybody who is 21 and up. You are welcome to grab yourself a beer on the tap and walk around, shop around. Old Town Spring is also a There is no there's no law saying that you cannot walk around with an open container. So here in Old Town Spring, you are able to have an open container and to walk around through all the shops. Many of the shops here do have drinks sometimes that they give out as well. So you never know what you might find here in Old Town Spring. So welcome to come and check out all the shirts. We have hundreds of shirts on display here. We 100% have the most tie-dye in spring. Pretty sure we have more tie-dye than anybody in Houston. And I know there are some tie-dye shops in the country that have more than we do. And there are many travelers and vendors who do tie-dye from as they vend and stuff who have a larger inventory as well. But as far as we know, we have the largest inventory shop that you can come shop around anywhere in the greater Houston area. So that's anywhere from pretty much from Houston all the way to Huntsville and farther. So I've heard that there's tie-dye place up in Dallas somewhere, maybe. I don't know much about it. So we aren't the only tie-dye, but we do have a great selection. We also do lessons up here sometimes. If you have a group of 4 or more and you would like some lessons, I will teach you by hand or in person how to do this here at the shop. It is $25 a person for 4 or more to do that. And we can go through pretty much anything you want. We'll go through the inventory, pick out something. There are a few things that are a little tough that you probably won't be able to do, but we will point that out as we get to it. And then I even do tie-dye parties. If you have 10 or more people, I will bring the dye and all the equipment out to you, and that is $20 a person. But you need 10 people minimum for that. That's always a good time. A few do the same design, but I bring a few shirts with me as examples, and then obviously I have my inventories online that you can look through. If you know how, I do bring QR codes and stickers and all that stuff so that you have a way to look through all of that. Yeah, I bring music. If you have your own music, you are welcome to play whatever you want. If you're having a party, awesome. Yeah, and just a nice little addition to it. It can be fun. Yeah, so if you do one of the parties, we do 20 a person, 10 minimum. And then if you want to also bring your own stuff too, you can bring some extras. If you do this, so it's your $20 initial charge, and then if you want to dye another shirt of yours, let me know beforehand. But each additional shirt is only going to be $5 just to dye. So we'll have all the equipment there, and so since we're already doing it, you've already paid to have me there, have me teach you. We'll just do $5 extra per shirt if you bring your own. If you just want to do multiple shirts and I provide all of the shirts, each extra shirt will be $10. That's it. So your first shirt will be 20 and each shirt after that will be 10. Just depends on what you want to do. You got lots of options. Okay, so this has all the color. And we're going to do the one thing. I already did it on the other side. I don't even think I mentioned anything about it. Everybody's always scared about this. Like, how do you get the darker shadows and stuff through it? And I go, well, we put black on it. So what we do is just a little bit of black all over the whole thing, just like that. Not too much. Don't want to oversaturate it. Just enough. Okay, so our shirt is now washed and dried. If you need to see how to do that, please watch my video on how to rinse and wash your tie-dye, and it'll go over the instructions for that for you. I'm going to go over the shirt just a little bit so you can see. We've got our dog paw print and each of our isolations when it was folded in half, as you can see. So we isolated one, isolated that, and then we tied around here. So that white line that goes around, that's where our sinew was. And then once the whole thing was done, this is our little border line, which kind of gets a little bit of lost detail right here on the edge. But overall, you can see how it's a nice dog paw print. And then we had our gradient on the inside where it was on the toe beans here, where we did purple, fuchsia, orange, and then orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And then on the outer part here, you can see how we did our gradient fade in the opposite direction. And so we actually got yellow, orange, fuchsia, purple, blue, green, and then yellow back up into here. And then we did our Rorschach scrunch over here on the outside. And we did the rainbow on one side going blue, yellow, green, orange, and then fuchsia. And then when we flipped it over, we did the rainbow on that other side. So you can see our purple, fuchsia, and then it goes off into whichever colors we got. Sometimes you can see it as well. Sometimes you can't. I mean, maybe we didn't even do. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I tied a bunch of shirts yesterday. I wasn't quite sure exactly how I colored this. This does look like the ultra rainbow color spectrum. So yeah, rainbow on both sides. So we're going to flip this over so you can see how it is the same on both sides here. And this is where our folding half is important and making sure that it is completely flat in the beginning. Otherwise, once we do get to this part, the front and back won't be the same, and the side and the other side won't be the same. So please be sure to click like and subscribe for more videos. My name is Nate. Thank you for watching.